Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. Thanks for downloading the episode. If you missed the last episode, I will not be playing any intro music for the show until the 2-year anniversary episode on July 31st. The anniversary show will be a lot of fun. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now so you don't miss that episode. I will be announcing new contributors to the show, new cover art, music, and a new person doing the intro. Speaking of which, my guest this week was going to be the person who did the very first intro to the show. That's my friend Brittany. Unfortunately, my phone broke this week, and I didn't have any way to get in touch with her. I have a new phone now, and I hope to have her on very soon. I talked to my friend Benny Mack for something to use on the anniversary episode. We ended up talking for so long that I decided to just make that its own episode to make up for not having Brittany on this week. So it'll start off a little out of nowhere because I took out all the stuff that will be on the anniversary show, and it will end a little abruptly, but it was a hell of a good time for me, and I hope you think so too. Here it is. I was watching one of your last Periscopes where you got on Omegle, and oh my God, that was so damn entertaining, man.
Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah, I tried to keep it clean. You never know what you're going to see on Omegle. So I had the chat set up in a way which I could switch between two shot sizes, so I didn't have to expose the viewers, which is part of the fun. You can do it live, but you don't have to expose anyone to any lewd, crude, or indecent content. But you can have all the fun laughs as well.
I wanted to go to bed kind of early, at least early for me. And I couldn't quit watching you. I think I was up till a little past 3 here in the States.
You're joking. Oh, cool,
no,
man.
But you never knew what was going to happen. That was the best part. Because I remember you got that one little kid who was just cussing and throwing slurs at you. And he had to be like 10 years old just sitting there playing video games. And then you got some bodybuilder dude who you kept telling him you were bigger than him. And one of the saddest parts was there was like a 7-year-old kid with a fidget spinner.
I know. Why is some kid fidget spinning on Omegle, you know? It's not the right place. I told that kid to go ride a bike somewhere, you know?
Yeah, and I thought that was good advice. You shouldn't be that old and be on Omegle. You gotta go outside.
There's far better places to be.
Yeah. You know, when I was growing up, I couldn't have gotten on there and seen any of that stuff. And I can't imagine what it would have done to me at that age. You know?
Dude, yeah, totally. It's screwed up. It's a screwed up world. The internet's a crude, screwed up place. But we try and laugh in the face of adversity.
Yeah, you made it easy that night. That was so good. Oh, my God.
Nice, man. Nice.
My phone broke today, so I can't really see what's going on Periscope. We got any questions out there?
Let's see if we got. Has anyone got any questions out here? Ooh, that's a great question. They want to know, Jason Marshall, have you ever been attacked by any ferocious insects, rodents, or other pests?
That's a good question.
That question comes from Shyamalan in Geneva. Wow. Very diverse.
I got stung by a shitload of yellow jackets once.
Ooh, aggressive. Are they the Africanized hornet?
Yeah, they're vicious, man. I was cutting down a bush and I didn't realize that these little guys got a hole in the ground that they're all in. And I didn't know, but where I was standing was right on top of them. So they're just flying straight up my pants. And, and I'm trying to smack them off, but what they do is they curl up and just sting the shit out of you constantly. So while I'm trying to wipe them off my pants, I think they're dead because they're all curled up, but they're not dead. They're just stinging me very bad. And I'm trying to run.
A band on your pants. You don't want to put jackets inside your jacket, let alone your pants. Damn, brother.
And I'm out in the middle of my yard. And I can't just take my pants off, but I really want to. It was horrible, man.
Neighborhood. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I heard you got to pour gasoline on them. You got to pour gasoline on the hive and set a torch onto it.
What I did, I just ran as far as I could away from where I was while I killed as many as I could. I got in the house, took my pants off, and just stomped the shit out of them.
That's the worst when a kind of vermin or some sort of pest attacks you in the pants. I had a similar situation. It wasn't yellow jackets, but it was this, they call it sea lice. Have you ever heard of sea lice?
No, what's that?
Oh man, it's horrific. It's a horrific injury. Let me tell you that much. I've had that on several occasions. I've had this on several occasions. And it is highly painful. You feel as if you're close to death. You start hallucinating, sweating profusely like a buffoon, scratching at your limbs and extremities in a very haphazard manner. But sea lice is a microscopic jellyfish larvae that is hooked like a barbed prong.
Holy shit.
They leech onto you, man. It feels like, it doesn't feel like so much at the time. But let me tell you, I was covered by thousands of them, and they are attracted to the sensitive area of the body where it's least affected by sun. Man, I didn't realize at the time, but I've been stung by over 50,000 of them.
Oh, God.
And on the nether regions as well. And also they are affected and they're activated by fresh water. I did not know that at the time, trying to remove this parasite from my epidermis. And man, oh man, that was a humiliating experience. I also wanted to take off my pants and try to rectify the situation, but I tell you, a garden hose can only do so much. You need an ocean of calamine lotion.
So what did you do? Did you have to go to the hospital?
Man, I didn't know what to do. I was incapacitated. I could barely move. I inflated into the size of a beach ball. They had to roll me into the excavator to get me off the tendon. It was out of hand, I tell you. No, but in honesty, they've got this great stuff. It's like antihistamine. It's like the same stuff you use if you've got some sort of allergy for hay fever. So I basically had to buy like a 20-pack of this antihistamine topicalized lotion gel. It was expensive, It's the sort of stuff that sells per gram higher than plutonium per gram.
Is that something that happens a lot in New Zealand? Those parasites?
Oh man, hey, it's not a parasite like like I was I caught something off the toilet seat. No, it's not that kind of parasite, man. It's like a swimming enzyme that leeches on. It's kind of like plankton. Let's just call it a plankton. Instead of thinking of it as a disease or as some sort of parasite, let's think of it as like a shrimp. A lovely shrimp. How the shrimp is horrible, angry, vengeful, This one's trying to take vengeance from that sushi that you've been eating. Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds horrible, man.
It was, man. It was, and it happened to me more than one time, It's like one of those injuries. I think we were talking last week about that guy who got stabbed like 9 times by the fisherman.
Yeah.
On his, first day of holiday. I got injured on holiday, I got attacked by this microcosm of like ferocious shrimps. And I was covered in scars. It was a long healing process. I came out alive. I'm in one piece. I lived to see a better day.
I would rather get attacked by a pack of wolves than have that happen.
Tell me about it. I see why
God.
I love to wear a burqa to the beach, burkini. I could find that because I've experienced the injustice, That's right. Not all heroes wear capes, some wear burkini.
What did you say those things were called again?
Sea lice? It's basically as we call them. People call them sea lice. They think, oh, you got fleas. You got the fleas of the sea. No, I didn't. It's a jellyfish. Honest. I got lice. I got jellyfished. It wasn't my fault. I'm clean.
You just needed to pee on them.
Man, I just needed to pee on myself. That's right. That's right. I didn't know. I thought it was lice. See, it's a misconception. It's a common misconception. You know, no one would ever say pee on your hair if you've got lice, would they?
No.
But if by lice they meant jellyfish, of course, you'd pee all over yourself.
But you know what? If you had lice and you peed on your hair, it might work. No one's tried it.
No one's tried it. Well, the other thing is peroxide. There's peroxide in urine, so just bleach your hair, bleach it blonde, do the short cut. You look like Eminem in that classic song, the one where he keeps mentioning himself, and it's like him, and you'll kill all the things. Or you could just piss in your hair and save a whole lot of time.
Next episode, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go out, I'm going to find some lice, I'm going to put them in my hair and piss on it, and we'll see if they die.
I've seen videos of monkeys do that. Honestly, I've seen videos of monkey self-urinating. Maybe it's to cure this itch, this skin condition that they keep talking about.
They're ahead of their curve, man.
They're ahead of the curve, man. You know, they've been implementing for a whole long time, you know, for millennia. Monkeys have been implementing. They were the first to use tools. One of them found a ratchet, hit the other monkey over the head, bludgeoned him to death for his cave that he was guarding. Anyway, had the riches in the cave. But it was a hell of a tool. But monkeys, you know what separates a monkey from a human?
What's that?
We can text. The opposable thumb. We've got a hell of a lot to thank for the opposable thumb.
Do you watch Mystery Science Theater?
Oh, I love that show.
I was watching one yesterday. It's the new one that's on Netflix. And they were doing a movie where a monkey was in it. And it was one of the worst movies ever.
They're great actors.
They were better than anybody else in that movie, I will say that.
They do. They often outshine. And the scenes where the monkeys aren't featured, they're drab, they're dreary, you feel deflated. As soon as they bring the monkey in, maybe he's got a new hat or a shirt on, he looks cool. Maybe they've just given him a half dozen pack of Mountain Dew just before the take there. So he's literally bouncing off the walls. He's dangling his arms around like they're dislocated at the shoulder, and often they are, by the way they handle these monkeys. But in captivity, they flourish, especially on a film set. You know, they gain lots of weight, fuck lots of hookers and do plenty of life. And they just become set in their routine, and they're just another member of the crew. They're great to work with.
When I was a little kid, I went to some lady's house who had a monkey. It was my brother-in-law that took me over there. He was, I think, like 20 years older than me. It was in this little cage, and he got really close to it. The monkey grabbed his hair and wouldn't let go. And I was so glad I didn't ever play with that monkey, because I was a little kid, and it just seemed weird that there was a monkey in someone's house. It didn't seem like something that I need to play with.
It's one thing caging a monkey. It's like caging a human. They're going to eventually break down over time. They're going to become introverted, and then they're going to lash out, and they're going to lose their mind.
Yeah.
Especially a little monkey. But that's the thing. They're going to claw out, and they're going to reach for anything if you come up towards the cage. Of course, they're going to try and grab your hair. They're going to try and bring your face close to the cage with the other hand. They'll start clawing at your face, possibly removing chunks of flesh and ingesting them. I don't know what this certain monkey's temperament was like, but it sounds like a very aggressive monkey if it's trying to rip clumps out of your scalp. Okay, all right. Looks as if we are back. Part 2 of the interview. I had a slight audio problem there. Not a problem. Let's pick that up from that. Get back into it. Oh, so the monkey, what a horrible monkey. A monkey like that, you got to watch yourself because it might rip your face off.
Yeah, that monkey needed a spanking. Needed to spank that monkey.
Oh, man, I used to work at a hotel as a concierge back in around the year 2001, back in the heyday of the millennia. And we used to have a cockatiel, one of those proper white, the birds that would do a bit of repeating.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a horrible thing. You'd get up close to it and it would lull you in with this false sense of security, and then it would squawk in your face. It's the volume that your ears would bleed, highly offensive, and many people, even adult women, would cry. Very scary indeed. But that thing, it got so much attention, and I think that maybe part of it was people possibly throwing things at it, objects. It ended up ripping a lot of the feathers out, and they actually had to exterminate that thing, and they gassed it, and they threw it.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. I think it was free in a beautiful home for retired lobby birds.
I went to some lady's house. It was me and a buddy of mine. He knew who she was. I had no idea. I walk in. This girl had, 5 or 6 birds. All of them were just flying around the house freely. And I never seen anything like that. I've been to people's houses who's had birds, but I never just seen them flying anywhere they wanted. One landed on my head, just walking around.
Okay, was this like in the 80s or something? Because maybe she hadn't heard of avian bird flu then.
I couldn't tell you exactly when it was, but it was so weird, man. And they had newspapers all over their floors. So
right.
That was a good indicator that this happens all the time.
That's horrible. So your house is literally one big litter tray.
Right. I never went back.
Man, did it smell like guano? Guano? You know that stuff, back guano? They say it's got therapeutic qualities. I think it burns off the top layer of your skin if it touches you.
Can you imagine having somebody over and having to tell them to watch where they walk in case there's bird shit on the floor?
Oh, man. Hey, take your shoes off. You're going to get them filthy in here.
They're free-range parakeets.
Man, oh, man. So what was the situation? Was she a hobbyist? Were the birds sort of like family members, or did she have some money in the game? Was she actually breeding things? Were they fucking all over the house?
To be honest, I was so distracted by the birds flying everywhere. I don't remember why we were there. I don't remember talking to her about anything.
Oh,
just watching birds fly in 2 different stories of this house while just landing on me whenever they felt like it. And one was on my head and just like peeked down at my eyes looking at me.
Much like the monkey, if they have given the opportunities, they will try to pick out the pink flesh inside your skull.
I was kind of worried he might go for my eye, I'll be honest.
Man, the eye's the soft spot. I mean, I've seen that's what happens, The hawk, it lands in, it attaches itself to the prey. It goes for the face, man. It goes directly for the eye. That's why it's landing on your head, It's trying to ascertain whether you're a friend or whether you're food.
Well, that was the thing that really got me was I'm already worried these things are just flying everywhere. It's kind of strange. I guess not worried, but just very preoccupied by seeing 6 other birds fly around while one is staring at me in my face while it's on my head. And you don't know what to worry about. Like, should I worry this thing's going to peck at my eye, or should I worry it's going to shit in my hair?
Yeah. Is it the beak? Is it the claw? Is it the shit? Maybe it's the wing. Maybe it's a parasite that's living, maybe this parrot's hosting a bunch of larvae, just like the last story we talked about. We don't know. It's a concerning situation. The best place for one of these parrots is often on the rotisserie alongside a nice coleslaw and maybe some barbecue sauce and some hot chips, or I think you call them French fries over there in the United States.
Maybe he's trying to distract me while another bird steals my wallet.
I'd like to see that. I've seen plenty of monkeys. I've seen lots of, these I think they call them symbians running around, stealing people's iPhones, trying to get smart on the internet, maybe steal a wallet, trying to do a few PayPal transactions, maybe trading a few Bitcoins. I don't know why they're stealing everyone's wealth. But a parrot or a hijacking, pocket-picking parrot, that's something I'd pay money to see. Good money. I'd actually welcome the theft.
It would be a hell of a story.
Pirates used to keep parrots because they're a great companion, and they're very much into repetition. You can train them really well. And there's some parrots that can actually speak English language fluently, even Dutch.
Have you ever met a pirate?
I have actually. I have met a few pirates. I'm not sure if they're proper pirates, but they're running around in all the garb. They don't have any boats, though.
Do you remember when there was just this entire rash of pirates going around for, I don't know, it was like a year or two? They were just hijacking boats and stuff?
Yes. Horrible thing. We actually had a horrible situation here concerning one of our national heroes being mown down by shotgun blast in an incident of piracy on the high seas of all places.
Really?
Yeah, Sir Peter Blake. He was actually a sir. He was out on a ocean-going voyage, trying to draw attention to the plight of the state of the ocean, and I'm not sure what happened. He got into an location with the wrong pirate, and he received a fatal a shot from a gun, and that's a very, very sad case of piracy.
I thought pirates were just over and done with till whatever year that was came about. That was really eye-opening, man. Like I said, I thought that kind of died out a long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, they keep doing these Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Why don't they start doing these Pirates of Somalia movies? Right. Yeah.
That would be more entertaining to me, at least.
Oh, yeah, we don't need some jumped-up buffoon running around with face paint and makeup on, you know? Trying to be Keith Richards or whatever this schmicko act he's been doing for years is. Let's get some real Somalis up there. No need to paint them up. And they can run around and chop people's heads off, you know?
Yeah.
More realistic.
We just have a whole reality show. And we'll just set them out. We'll have a little...
You know?
Yeah, we'll have little competitions. It's kind of like Survivor meets Big Brother.
Yeah, they have parrot raising competitions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They have plank jumping competitions. And it would be great.
I like that. They just see how many tricks they can do on their water skis.
Exactly. Well, that's it. Modern pirates, modern tools. We're no longer talking, buccaneers and bounties. We are talking inflatable boats, these sort of high-speed stealth sort of jet skis that you keep talking about, a James Bond-style aqua scooter which flies underwater.
You know what's crazy is watching old James Bond movies, and so much of that stuff just doesn't seem impressive at all anymore.
No, it was all sort of a little bit tired. You know, I see some of those movies where they're saying this is what the future's going to be in the next 20 or 30 years, and they're way off.
Yeah, like the Jetsons, man. I was so psyched when I was a kid, and I saw the Jetsons cartoon.
Yes.
And I was convinced that's how it was going to be. I was going to grow up and have a robot.
Yes. That was an absolute letdown. Look, the video phone thing happened, and that's about as far as they got with technology. You know, we're starting to see these self-driving cars, but technology in the home is truly lacking. Where's the personal assistant? Where's the robot that's going to scrub my teeth and, massage my back? Where is this stomach food cooking robot that's going to serve me?
I got to tell you, self-driving cars scare me to death. The last thing I need is to go to a gas station and all of a sudden I get a car virus. And I don't want to have to pay for a subscription to McAfee just so my car runs okay. Just keep it the same for now.
Yeah, well, the trick with that is just don't do the updates. The people say that's when you're going to get the virus, when you don't do the updates. But the thing is, your computer will crash if you keep doing the updates because the computer sucks. Same with your car. They're trying to make these cars safer by updating them over the net, but they miss track of how many cars they've produced and how many models. They only want to make one piece of software. They roll it out over the net. Some cars aren't compatible. Just unplug it. Don't update it. It should be safe. You shouldn't get any viruses.
Yeah, it seems like a bad idea.
It's not wise. But in the event of a blackout, you can actually run your home power off your EV. They call them electric vehicle.
Yeah, I can see why, though. I mean, it's kind of like a big electric generator sitting right in your driveway, right?
Exactly, man. Exactly. Hey, if it can drive at 100 k's down the road, I'm sure it can warm up a TV dinner. You know?
That's a very good point.
Man, oh man, it's a lot of power stored in those things.
Have you seen the cars by Domino's that have the ovens inside them?
Oh yeah. I like that. I need to get me a hold of one of those. You know, when I was a youngster, we used to do a similar thing. We just get one of those frozen pizzas. We'd buy 2 or 3 of those. We'd grab a hold of one of those rolls of tinfoil, wrap it up nice and tight there, and we'd jam it in between the manifold and the engine. Sometimes we'd slide it in there between the radiator and the turbo, and often we'd put it up next to the firewall in the back of the engine block. But I tell you, that cheese, when it was covered in that engine oil, and that tasted so good. Hardly any carcinogens, and I tell you, keep your teeth all clean and shiny of that. You know, that deep mixer on there, but it would eat right through the tin foil. But I tell you, by the time it was cooked, by the time you've driven about 1,500 miles, it was warm. It was barely edible, but I tell you, nutritious to the core.
That's how you know when it's done.
That's when you know when it's done, when it's fused to the engine and you have to peel it off with a spatula. You know, that's good eating on the road.
Just use an ice scraper if you don't have a spatula.
Or use your, community service card. I think you might have that. What do they call it over there?
Oh, we have AAA cards.
Use your AAA card if you want one of those. Hey, if you got one of those, do they have those food stamp cards? Is it in a stamp form now, or is it in a card form?
Yeah, it's a card.
Well, just scratch it with your stamp card. It's a card. It's supposed to be a stamp. They say, have you got any food stamps? Yes, I do.
That's very convenient. You can buy the pizza with your card and scrape it off.
You can eat it like a fork, If you've got an old one, chop it down. Very, very pliable. Heat it up with a cigarette lighter, and then it becomes even more malleable, and you can create all kinds of utensils. So one guy make a flute out of a social security card. I think you guys call those food stamp card. Working flute.
There was a person that went out and made a pizza box that you could turn into a marijuana pipe when you're done.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt it. Some of those wax paper products can hold quite a volume of fluid. So the fact that they were able to construct a working vase, a dry herb vase, I believe they call them, then that's phenomenal. And I think it should be commended. Maybe they used a little bit of that stringy mozzarella cheese there for structure and integrity. Maybe they used a little piece of pineapple there just to create a little bit of bond between the shaft of the bubbler. But other than that, maybe they created that rush hole in the side of that with a pimento seed. I don't know how they did it. But I know it was an innovation, and they should be commended,
I'm looking at the box right now. It's so weird looking, man. It really is. They have instructions on how to fold the box into the pipe on the outside of the box, which is smart.
Right.
Because you have to tell people how to do it. It's not something that most people are just going to pick this pizza box up and just figure it out.
Exactly. Everybody needs a bit of help. It's a good idea to read the instructions. It's good when they're written in English. It's very helpful. It's recycling. It's a form of recycling.
It's a piece of cardboard, so it's already going to catch on fire kind of easily, and it's got pizza grease all over it.
Well, maybe they're doing this cool thing. It's called they're cooking with weed. Maybe they use some sort of cannabinoid oil right there in there. Maybe there's THC right there in the cardboard. Who knows? Maybe that's hemp paper. Maybe the point is you're most probably supposed to smoke the box. Maybe something to you is a little more than a pipe. It's more like an actual roach doobie, roll up the whole box. I don't know, leave a bit of that oregano in there if you want, and just roll it on up, hit it with the lighter, you're good to go.
I'm going to look this guy up. I'm going to see if he'll send me a box. And
you get one too. Chicken, barbecue chicken, maybe an extra chicken.
I like barbecue chicken pizza too. Do you get pineapples on it?
No, I don't, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's how I get mine.
Really? Some people say that it's a crime putting pineapple on pizzas.
Nah, if it's chicken barbecue, you get some pineapple, you get some bacon. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff. Them's good eatings.
Yeah.
Do you get good price pizzas over there? Affordable?
Yeah.
$5 pizza?
Yeah, Pizza Hut used to have $5 pizzas for a little while. I think they went up now, but...
Do they say it was inflation? They can't use that one. They can't use that every year. It can't be inflating every year. Surely some years it goes down. I could be wrong. I could know nothing about the economy, but I like to be right. It should go down. $5 pizzas, everybody. What do you say?
I had a job once where they said that they were taking away vacation time because they wanted to make sure that there were different companies, or it was the same company, but different offices around the country.
You can't take vacations. That's a human right.
Well, this company was amazing because when I first started, like the very first day, I had a month and a half vacation. So
I didn't know that employer.
It was amazing. It was some European company that outsourced here. So I've always loved the Norwegian people and their work because that's who I was working for at the time. It was awesome. So we have to sit down at this meeting. They're saying we're trying to make everybody standard across the board because different sites have different vacation policies. So we're taking away a week, or it was either a week or 2 weeks of the vacation time.
Oh,
yeah, that was rough. But then a year later, we have a meeting and they sit us down and they say, yeah, we're taking away some of your vacation time because we want to make all vacation time standard across all sites. And I thought, I know there's a high turnover rate here, like at the time, 60%, I think it was. But I've been here for a year, and I know that this is the same thing you told us last year. So either you fucked up or you're lying to me. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, well, no. Maybe they're being completely honest, but they're just being real sly about it. Maybe they are trying to standardize all the rates across the yards. Everybody gets nothing. That's standard.
It was nice, though, because when I first started, like I said, I got a month and a half, and you were allowed to buy a week. At the end of the day, I almost had 2 months vacation just right off the bat. That was the best job I ever had.
All right, so it sounds like one of those classic ones where the employee, you're the employee, you went down there and the employer fucked up. The employer fucking blew his load way too early, gave you all these holidays. I think he gave you most of the allocated holidays for that whole branch's whole annual leave. You're only entitled to a week. You're over here getting in excess of 2 months.
Yeah, it was a little nuts. I remember telling a buddy of mine about it, and he was a truck driver, and he said, man, I don't know what's going on over there, but you need to keep that job as long as possible.
Oh, man. So you took a hold of all this holiday, and then they come back trying to cut it in half, and then trying to quarter it again, trying to cut it down to nothing? What happened?
I still had a month of vacation time for the year, and I was able to buy it, but it was kind of hard to get adjusted to it because at the time I'd been there for 2 years, and after 2 years of having 2 months off, man, taking a week or two away is kind of harsh, but it was still a lot more vacation time than most people, so I couldn't complain too much. I think what happened was an American company bought them, and then they went public, and once the Norwegians didn't own us anymore, we were pretty screwed.
Man.
Yeah, I remember their big motto was, as long as the employees are happy, that basically they'll produce more for you. and they were very much employee focused. And then once they went public and it was an American company, nobody cared about the employees anymore.
And it's all too common with these multinational conglomerates coming in, swooping the dignity of our people, not reparating them correctly, making the financial incentives more attractive, creates a happier, livelier, more productive workforce. And I tell you, productivity is all-time low. Got people jumping out of the building. They have to erect these sort of anti-jump nets. We need to keep people safe. We don't need to try and stretch people to the limit. That's what we got the robots for. Bring in the robots, automate, let them swing around the heavy machinery and get into the workplace, you know? So that was paid vacation time too. So he's getting the time and he's getting paid.
Yeah.
And if he takes the time off on the weekend, he gets paid double time.
Nothing better than that, man.
Stupid. It sounds like a win-win-win situation.
My wife used to work there with me, and she was pregnant. She was in the bathroom. She thought she was giving birth, right? Everybody's like crowded around, and I go into the bathroom, and the security guard's like pushing me out, like, you can't be in here. Like, I'm her husband, but he wouldn't let me in for a long time.
Oh, man. So he was blockading the door?
Yeah.
It's a medical emergency, you know?
That's what I thought. I need in there.
You don't want to be born, breach into the bowl and not have your dad there. Was that the immediate thought that was running through your head? This child's going to be delivered into a unsanitary toilet. And I know how you run them over there in the States. It's like a jacuzzi, man. Why do you have so much water in there to splash your ass and get your junk wet? Back to the story about your wife and that buffoon security guard.
I kind of want to get back to the part where you were talking about how much water's in our toilets.
It's not healthy, man. It's not healthy.
There's not as much water in your toilets over there?
No.
Okay, I just assume that's how it is. I don't know.
You guys are just crazy. America is crazy.
I do always wonder what people in Africa think about it, because they're fighting for clean water, and we're just have
water.
We have like 5 gallons in the toilet that we just flush.
It's strange. You guys seem to keep the water that you flush in the bowl, rather than in the header tank. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what a header tank? We just keep a small amount in the bowl. When you arrive, you put a little bit of toilet paper down. It's right down the bottom there, okay? So it's probably this far away from your body. The water starts, okay? So you do your business, and when you flush, the water drops from the cistern. A small ball cock releases the cistern, and the water flushes down, and this deluge goes through the U-bend, and it flushes all this waste effluent away over to the reclamation plant, where they turn it into all amazing treats for the vegans to enjoy. But no, we just have a small amount of water. It drops down from the cistern, then the cistern refills, and just keeps that small amount of water there to keep the odors away from backwashing in through the U-bend there. But in America, the bowl is full of water. It's like I was saying before, it's like a small jacuzzi for your shit.
Yeah.
Over there, you call it a deuce. It's like a plunge pool for your deuce.
Yeah, you go in, you wash your balls, you take a shit. You make sure everything's freshed out there.
The only reason your balls are getting dirty is because it's in the muddy water. No wonder why you see people, going over to the sink and the tap. I heard a famous comedian say that's the reason why it's called a tap, because you have to tap some water on your balls because you're washing your balls on the tap. Oh, man.
I just assumed it was like that everywhere. I had no idea.
You need to do some. We need to do is we need to look at the toilet facilities around the world. I know it differs everywhere. Every continent does it their own way. As you're saying, in Africa, they like to use it they like to go on to the ground on the dust floor. Over in America, they like to have a jacuzzi for your deuce. Over in New Zealand and Australia, to have a small amount of water. In Japan, they got a robot that reaches under your gooch and sprays your a-hole with pressure. Whoa. And then it busts like some sort of fan unit, some high voltage fan unit, and it dries your taint. It's crazy.
Have you ever used one of those? I forget what they're called.
I haven't. I think it's called a bidet, but this is like a
bidet. That's right.
Bidet?
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful. If you sit around on it backwards, you can electrify your balls on the mechanism. Very dangerous.
I've never used one either. I've seen them for sale at like hardware stores and stuff, but it's not something that I would just go and replace my toilet with.
Yeah, most people recommend not having electronic appliances in the bathroom. There is a possibility of electrocution. However, if you are in Japan, it's great. You save a lot of toilet paper, of course, and it's installed there at the place where you're staying, and you just become accustomed to the local culture. I was over in Italy, I believe it was, several years ago. I was shocked to find that they use a squatty-style potty, where they actually crouch down in a hunched-style position and defecate into a tiny, filthy opening. It's offensive. It's offensive. You've got to get your angle of attack right. It's horrible. It's horrible. Wow. You've got to be tactful with how you use the facility.
Yeah, I don't think I could. And that has to smell too, right? It's just a hole in the floor?
It goes into the system and it is disposed of. I think it must flush in some manner. Mm-hmm. The finer intricacies, I don't know. I was shocked. I was scared. I was appalled. I invested in some of those Depends man nappies. I pretty much existed for the next 5 weeks living out of from nappy to nappy. Well, so this has been enlightening and all, but yeah. I might have swayed from our topic of conversation a little bit, which was
the 2-year anniversary episode of the show. All right, guys, that's it for me and Benny. I hope you enjoyed it. To keep things building to the anniversary show, next week I will be talking to the people who have done segments for the show in the past 2 years. Anywhere from people who have been around for a long time, like Mike Canistero, to people who have just been around for a few months, like Dave Nelson. Until then, if you want to send me an email, send it to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com, or if you have something that you want to say, call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail. Thanks for downloading the show. I'll talk to you Monday.